Hi everyone and welcome to my channel Let's Learn with Deepti. Our today's topic is a food industry, a huge industry all over the world. It will include from your chip making to your restaurant food. Everything is automated now in the food industry. When I'm saying automation, that means instrumentation a lot involved in that. Out of the food industry, we are going to selectively talk about the milk industry. We will see in this video the process flow diagram of the milk, the batch process where the byproducts like yummy ice creams and the chocolates can be taken out, then a continuous process that is HTST process, and what are the sensors and instrumentation components involved in that we are going to discuss it. So let's see what is a milk industry, what is a milk process and a food industry itself. Thank you. So this colorful food industry, one of the great industry contribution is that a dairy industry. When I'm saying a dairy industry or a milk industry, milk and its byproduct flash front of us. A yummy ice cream, chocolate, cheese, butter, everything. So let's see how much the milk industry is contributing towards the food industry. I got a chat from this internet saying that the contribution of the each company towards or daily turnover of this company. So number one is a Nestle, who is daily turnover is almost 20.6 euro billion. It's a huge industry. So we will discuss about what is a milk processing, how we are doing it, how the automation and instruments involved in that. We all aware of the term that the pasteurization. A term pasteurization come after the scientist named Louis Pasteur. There is one interesting story behind it. He actually invented this method, or he actually experimented this method for a wine. He observed that if you heat up the wine below its boiling point, the growth of the bacteria drastically reduced. Later on, he experimented for the many food product, and one of the product was a milk. It was a boom. It was a great invention that time that a pasteurization come up. So this pasteurization technique, actually the pasteurization definition is basically the heating of each milk particle. I repeat, the each milk particle and a milk product to a specific temperature for a specific period of time without allowing the recontamination of the milk or a milk product during heat treatment process. So what is the purpose of it? The number one purpose is a public health aspect. To make the milk and a milk product safe for a human consumption by destroying all the bacteria that may be harmful to health. Number two is a keeping quality aspect. To improve the quality milk or keeping the quality of milk and milk product, pasteurization can destroy some desirable enzymes and many spoilage bacteria. Shell life can be 7, 10, 14 or up to 16 days. So this is how my milk pasteurization can help me in building it. This is a process flow diagram of a milk industry. It is distributed as milk reception, milk processing and product processing. A milk is collected from the cow and then the cooling, transportation, testing and storing is done. These all techniques are done with the help of certain techniques or certain method there. Standardization, separation, pasteurization, homogenization and storing, these are playing a vital role in milk processing. A raw milk is taken from the machines or the stainless steel holding tank, refrigerated to quickly for 40 °F, and in order to lower the growth of the bacteria to go into the process or a plant station. Okay, after that it is passes through the centrifugal and clarifier for the standard separation. This is over where the separation is done. After the standardization, that is cooling it to a certain temperature, reducing the growth of the bacteria, now the separation is taking place. It removes, while in a separation process, the centrifugal clarifier actually removes the sedimental and body cells of the cow under the milk. Okay, it centrifugates to the high speed and it removes the butter fat of the milk process. Then comes the pasteurization technique. It rids the milk of the any disease or organism and reduce the growth of the bacteria, as we discussed earlier. Then comes the homogenization. Homogenization includes the globules and the clumps. These are the two parts which will come at the top. They are very small size, so we have to stir it properly so that they will no more get dried and settle at the top of the skin of the milk. Then the boiling of it, the milk product is done. Then the further processing like the byproducts like ghee, then ice creams and storing and everything is done under that. Next comes the batch process. A batch process is again a very important process, especially for the byproducts like chocolate and ice creams. This particular batch process involves a vat process. This is a vat. In this vat, this is a jacket which is given. This jacket is surrounded by the heating coils or by the steam or by the hot water. Over here, this is an outlet valve which is covered. This is an inlet line to it. This is an agitator which is stirring the milk continuously. Okay. Now, how this batch process is working? In this batch process, you are pouring the milk inside it, heating it to 145 Fahrenheit, keeping it for 30 minutes inside. The work of the agitator is to stir the milk in order to uniformly heating the each particle. Okay, that's the reason I praise the definition of a pasteurization, that each particle of the milk, if you sterilize it properly, then only the heating of the each milk particle can be possible. Then they will keep it for the 30 minutes inside. Now there are a lot of sensors and indicators are involved in that. This is a indicating thermometer which is indicating the temperature of the milk, airspace thermometer, a recording thermometer and an airspace heater. This airspace heater plays a role of that you are pouring the milk, a lot of bubbles get formed. Because of this bubbles, many a times you get the false level reading and a false temperature reading also. In order to suppress those bubbles, this airspace heater is there. It is suppressing the bubbles. It is helping me to suppress the bubble. So these all components are helping me to heat it. After a certain time, then it is gradually removed by the outlet section over here. So this is how the batch process is taking place. This is a wonderful product for a small process to small pasteurization technique, or if you want to work with the small ice cream setup or the chocolate setup, then this is a wonderful process to work with. Now let's see the continuous process of the milk industry. The continuous process of the milk industry is known as HTST process. The HTST stands for hot temperature short time process. So let's see HTST process. Our diagram actually starts from this section, that is a raw milk section. Okay. Now when I am saying this is a raw milk section, the raw milk is inletted inside this constant tank. Remember the change in the temperature throughout the process. When a raw milk is inserted over here, the temperature is 4 degrees centigrade. After that, the constant level tank, after this, the level is given to the regenerator raw side. The regenerator raw side is basically a heat exchanger where the heating is done by the means of the steam or the hot water, and the heating, the milk is heated up to 57 to 68 degrees centigrade. It is also called as a warm-up process of the milk. After that, it comes with a timing pump. Timing pump is basically a positive displacement pump. It is assuring the positive pressure throughout the system. After that, it is given to the heating section. This heating section, the actual pasteurization temperature is achieved in this. So in this heating section, again a heat exchanger is having a temperature of 72 degrees centigrade. After that, the milk will go into the holding tube. These holding tubes are 1/4 inch size and the timing or the holding period is 16 seconds. After that, it is given to the indicator, that is a thermometer indicator, and it is also given to the recorder for the indicating and recording purpose. Then it is given to the one of the important device of the system, that is a flow divergent device, that is FDD. The role of this flow diversion device is it is checking the temperature. If the temperature of the milk fall down below the 72 degrees centigrade, then the milk will fetch back to the constant level tank. If the level is equal to 72 or slightly increased than of the 72 degree, then it is passes to the regenerator pasteurization site. This regenerator pasteurization site is again your heat exchanger. Now the process will be exactly reverse. In earlier cases we pasteurize it. In order to do that, we increase the temperature from 4 degree to 57 to 68 and later on 72. Now this regenerator pasteurization will reduce the temperature of the milk to 32 to 9 degrees centigrade. After reducing the temperature to 32, because suddenly we cannot reduce it to the 4 degree for the transportation, which is a requirement of the transportation. So we are slowly and gradually doing this process. After reducing to 32 to 9 degrees centigrade, then it is given to the cooling section, where temperature again reduced to the 4 degrees centigrade. After that they are given to the vacuum breaker, and then the further transportation work can be done very easily with that. There are minimum heat exchangers are used in that, though you in the diagram you can see there are 4 separate heat exchanger is shown. It is shown for the simplicity purpose, but actually speaking there are less amount of the heat exchangers which are part of it. Okay, so there are only single heat exchanger which has been splitted in a 4 parts, or a 2 heat exchanger splitted in the 2 parts is used. Okay, now we will see a very important part of the milk industry, that is the sensors and components involved. The very first sensor involved in that, we had seen that this is a constant level tank. When I am saying a constant level tank, what is the need of maintaining the constant level? If the level of the milk inside fall below the desired level, the heat exchanger may run out of the milk, and in that condition the overheating of the heat exchanger may take place, and that is very harmful for that. So in order to avoid that, I have to maintain a constant level throughout. This is done with the help of the simple float assembly. A float sensor is indicating the giving me the temperature, giving me the level of the complete level tank, and also indicating what is the level. Accordingly I can operate my heat exchanger at this side. Okay, there is one more important thing over here, that the slope is given is of the 2% slope is given on this side. This is a 2% slope which is given. Can you see a slightly slanted one? This slope is given so that the air should not trap over here. See the bubbles and the air, these are the major problem, can be a major problem in a milk industry, because they may choke as they passes further. So therefore in order to avoid that, a slanting section is given over here for this level tank. Let's come to the next part of it, that is the FDD. FDD is used over here, as you can see. This is a FDD section which I had used. This FDD is very important because this is the one who is taking the decision, but FDD is not a controller, it is a final control element, remember that. So there is always a sensor, controller and a final control element will involve in the loop. So who is sensing it? A temperature sensor will sense the temperature, it will inform the controller, and accordingly controller will take the action to turn on or off, or to move up and down this stem of the control valve. So this is a divergent flow and a forward flow diagram is given. What is a divergent flow? When I am saying a divergent flow, that it will divert it to the balance tank or the level tank. When I am saying a forward flow, that means it is passing it to the pasteurization technique, or it is passing it to the further heat exchanger. Okay, so in a divergent, when the temperature is less than 72, it will fall back to the balance tank. When it is, that is a divert flow, and when it is equal to the 72, then it will pass it to the heat exchanger. Now this, suppose the inlet flow is less than 72 degrees centigrade, the sensor will inform the controller and controller will lift up the control valve. So it will divert to the balance tank, or it will divert to the constant level tank there. Now the temperature is equal to 72, then it is given to the tank, or it is given to the heat exchanger, where my temperature is going to reduce to 732 to 9 degrees centigrade. This is another combination of a dual stem FDD, that is a forward and a divert movement can take place. This particular instrument can used with the help of the PLC programming. This also can be used for the more and more automation purpose, but it is entirely a designer choice to use. Cleaning can be more easy in case of the dual stem FDD, therefore it is a most CIP, that cleaning process is more easy in that dual stem FDD, therefore it is more easily can be approached with. So there are other instruments like holding tube. This holding tube is of the 1/4 feet long, and this is helping me to restrict the air trapping throughout the system. Then comes a indicating thermometer. The indicating thermometer is basically a indicator which is having a probe of 18-inch upstream towards the FDD. Recording thermometer is a monitor, recorder or controller for this FDD. It can be of the pneumatic or electronic type. Timing pump is basically which is assuring the maximum rate and minimum holding time. Internally they are connected to the FDD, that is flow divergent device, and fully operated when in a for the fail-safe mode or the forward or invert mode. It centrifuges with the magnetic flow meter, so it is giving me the better performance when I am centrifuging it with a magnetic flow meter. So that's all about the milk industry. Thanks for listening, and do subscribe the channel. Thank you.